How can this approach to exercise that we use and we promote, how can we gain more ground in the wider world?
I think really the only way we can do it is through things such as you've started, which is broader exposure. The HIT community doesn't really get a lot of exposure because you're up against a huge industry, $60 billion a year industry, which has no interest in telling people to train once a week, for example, for 6 minutes in your street club. You know, they've got yoga pants to sell, they've got footwear to sell, they've got cowhide weightlifting gloves to sell, they've got protein powder to sell, they have new machines they have to sell, they have new classes they're coming up with. And all of these, and then even personal trainers are like that. You know, if they find a potential client that is well-heeled, they're going to want a lot of billable hours out of them. So they're going to want them for 4 or 5 days a week if they can get them to agree to that, because that's 4 times the revenue. So nothing that we have to offer or to sell is popular with the fitness industry. So magazines aren't lining up to interview us or find out about a more efficient way to exercise, or to even say, hey, you know what, a lot of this nonsense about transforming yourself is just that. That doesn't sell copies. What sells copies is you too can look like Jennifer Aniston, or you can look like this. You know, irrespective of the fact that, you know, Jennifer Aniston is, you know, among many other celebrities, has had plastic surgery and all sorts of things to look the way she does. So, I mean, the whole industry is largely built on smoke and mirrors and selling pixie dust. You know, that's what it does, the magic beans. You know, if you can take these, then you're going to be something other than what you are. And if you think about it, I think it will always be that way. I don't ever see a scenario whereby the approach that we advocate is going to supersede that. And the reason is, if I'm publishing a fitness magazine, I need to fill that magazine with at least 25 articles. So I need new information, or at least information that can go in there. And if I write an article saying, you only need to work out once a week, the workout needs to be about 6 minutes long, you need to pay as much attention to recovery as you do to the workout itself, what do you got? What do you got for next month? You know, there it is, there's the facts, but that's not what they're selling. You know, no supplement manufacturer is going to pay to have his ad run along with that article, especially when if you mention you don't need supplements, which you don't. So I don't ever envision a scenario whereby we're going to take over the empire. It's not going to happen. It's too big. There's too much money to be made. Too much propaganda we're in the teeth of that is not going to be overcome. They will outshout us by every means necessary, constantly. So we will always be what we've always been, which is we'll appeal to a small sect that want answers. They want to know the whys and the wherefores of what they do. That is our biggest audience. And you know, people who are naturally inquisitive and have fully engaged critical faculties are not the step and file people that you see going to fitness centers. We're always going to be a smaller percentage that we appeal to. But having said that, once you've been exposed to the truth and to science and seeing the bigger picture, it's very difficult to deny that and go with the flow. Like, it would be the easiest thing in the world, and maybe you would agree, just to give people what they want. You go with what's in the fitness magazines because that's what they expect. You know, you give them the yoga room or the spinning class or the stretching room or the free weight room or what have you, because they're expecting that. That's what they read in this month's Shape magazine, for instance. And so if you have it, that's what they're going to try and do. And it's built on novelty, something different. It's old wine in new skins constantly, because the approaches they use are not effective. So normally when people figure it out, you offer them something new. It's also an industry that relies heavily on turnover. The most successful gyms are in very population dense areas, so that when you stop coming, after a month, that's okay, because they got 4 other people that'll take your place that day. And the last thing in the world they want is everybody who paid for membership showing up, because there'd be no room to do it. So it's not a health and fitness business, it's a membership business generally in the fitness world. So I don't see ourselves as a part of it. We're something very different from that.